Hey everybody, this is Dr. Heather Carden and I am here with
Dr. Ralph Carden.
And we are back here to help answer that question I've gotten probably a couple hundred times about fat coffee, mammoth coffee. What is it? Why do we drink it? What's the purpose of it? And when to drink it? So we're just going to start with our favorite coffee first. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of variations and then just some truth about, does it count on my feeding window? Does it count my fasting window? So right now, Dr. Ralph, if I were to drink just this cup of coffee, nothing in it, is this in my feeding window or my fasting window?
Fasting window.
Okay.
Though there's some research out there that we don't know if some of the chemicals that are found in the coffee is actually contributing to metabolic activity. There's not enough research on that, but it's got 0 calories in it, so we count that as our fasting.
So you're going to make your favorite fat coffee, which is not my favorite fat coffee, but he's going to make his. So how do you do it when you start home? We've got a whole bunch of goodies here. If you guys don't want to knock the computer over, a whole bunch of stuff here we're going to talk about. So just talk about your favorite fat coffee.
Okay, so what I would do, brewed coffee. I'm going to just get that right into the blender.
Come this way a little bit more.
And then what I do with it, not everybody likes it. I actually do the yolk of an egg, which I'll do that in a moment. And then I add approximately about a teaspoon to a tablespoon, give or take, of grass-fed butter.
So 1 tablespoon of grass-fed butter equals 3 teaspoons of grass-fed butter, just in case you're new to baking, new to cooking.
Okay, give me just a moment. I'm going to do my egg.
So 1 tablespoon of grass-fed butter is approximately 11 grams of fat, because I want to have you just calculate your coffee today or tomorrow morning and let us know. So is it our fasting or feeding window? It all depends. People have a lot of adrenal insufficiency or caffeine sensitive or have a coffee allergy.
Quick, just the yolk of the egg.
That's it in his coffee. So he's just got a little bit, 1 plus a teaspoon of grass-fed butter and then 1 yolk. So I've got my earbuds in because he's going to blend that up real quick.
Okay, so I'm going to blend.
And then we're going to have a deep discussion about, is it in or is it out of my feeding or fasting window?
Hold on. I do about a tablespoon of MCT oil.
So that's just C8. So only C8, not C10, not C6. 1 tablespoon of MCT.
Blend.
He's going to blend. So that's another 1 tablespoon is about another 14 grams of fat. So we just put about, without the egg, he put 11 grams for the grass-fed butter and 14 for this C8 MCT, and that actually brings about 24 grams of fat in his coffee. Now, so hopefully you guys can see what that looks like. Excellent.
There we go.
And now if you guys just watched our previous video, we made some amazing whipping cream. We made coconut and then we made a dairy one. Dr. Ralph does a lot more dairy than I do, so I don't know if you guys can get an amazing picture of that. So we are at 14 grams of fat. I'm going to sideswipe your comments here, guys, so you can see better.
And then I'm going to take the with dairy whipped topping that we made earlier.
So a tablespoon of that is about another 14 grams of fat. I've calculated this enough to know. So he is about 25 grams of fat in that coffee. 1 teaspoon of grass-fed butter. Oh, keep going, sorry.
And then I also do a dash of the cinnamon.
You can't see it. You're out of the window. Come here. There we go.
There we go.
And Ceylon cinnamon for digestion. And so there we go. Cheers, everybody.
Enjoy.
So we talked about 13.6 plus 11. So 20, we're around 25 plus another glob of our homemade whipping cream, which is about another 12 tablespoons of fat. So about 36 tablespoons of fat grams. People often find it's hard to get their fat in. That's an easy way to do it. So I do a lot of food diaries in my office because I want to help people be their own detective. What's helping, what's not helping. Oftentimes, and I'm just going to give some truth here, people are all over Pinterest and looking at different stuff. So they'll take their cup of coffee or a cup of tea. It could be a chai latte tea. You could also make a frappuccino. And they would simply do, if you do, and I've got it all counted out here, if you do 1 tablespoon of grass-fed butter, so we use the Kerrygold grass-fed butter, 1 tablespoon of grass-fed butter. I do have your comments switched to the side so I can see, guys, so hold on just a second. And you do 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. So this is 14 grams of fat, 120 calories. The Kerrygold grass-fed butter is 11 grams of fat, 100 calories. And then if you do a tablespoon of heavy whipping cream, your favorite brand, it's another 5 grams of fat and 45 calories. And then if you put 1 tablespoon of the most common MCT oil, which again is C8, that's another 92 calories and 13.6 grams of fat. That puts your fat coffee with 1 teaspoon of each at about 360 calories and 43 grams of fat. Now, if you double that, because most people do 2 tablespoons of this, 2 tablespoons of that, 2 tablespoons of that, that actually puts you at 714 calories and 80 grams of fat. Holy moly. So if you're doing high fat and high carb, if you're doing paleo and high fat, that can be way too much fat and way too many carbs. But if you're doing keto, that's a great way to start your day. But know that those add up. Oftentimes people are like, why am I gaining weight on a keto diet? Why am I not losing weight? Well, number one, you could be having way too much fat in your fat coffee. And if your body forgot to metabolize fat, because it's been since childbirth, then you know that your body actually isn't ready to do all that amount of fat. Or maybe you have a dairy sensitivity. Maybe you're allergic to coffee. We often find people who have allergies to lima beans or tree beans or green beans also have a coffee bean allergy. What can happen is coffee or any allergy can actually raise your cortisol level. It can raise your glucose level. So any allergy or sensitivity could also mess up your feeding fasting window. So I'm going to quickly make mine, guys. I'm going to be super simple here today with you guys. So we could take all these amazing things. We showed you the heavy whipping cream. We showed you the grass-fed butter. You can also use a sweetener like Swerve or Sucrin to put in there. You can also, it's that time of year to put a little bit of pumpkin. Pumpkin doesn't have a ton of calories. It's 2 carbs for 1/3 cup. And if you just use a teaspoon of it, that would honestly be 1 total carb. I'm not even doing net carbs. And it would be about 5 more grams of fat in there. So you could absolutely have, sorry, that was not pumpkin. You could absolutely have a little bit of pumpkin in there. Thanks, guys. I'm going to put your comments back so you can see. So MCT, Sharon, is medium chain triglycerides. So a coconut oil, this is coconut oil at room temperature, is a solid, right? It has C8, C10, and C12. When we say take C12 out of it and C10, then our coconut oil becomes a liquid at room temperature, hence a liquid, which is a medium chain triglyceride. I actually like, I'm just going to be honest, I'm super picky about quality. And I also am busy mom of 4 and working. I actually like to do it this way. I can actually just put my keto cream, and the keto cream has the highest, it has MCT powder, so it's getting my MCT in there. It has coconut powder, so I'm getting my coconut in there. It has cinnamon in there, so I'm getting my cinnamon in there. It also has some sea salt, it has some liposomal cream, but it also has 4 different strands of collagen. Collagen is so important for anti-aging. It helps hold our innards up, so not only does it make amazing elasticity for our skin, it's also about joint flexibility, anti-aging. This also has some DNA repair in there, which is so important as we start to age and our body's exposed to a ton of toxins. So I simply, and this is just sweet cream flavor, it does have, so it has 130 calories, and it has 12 grams of fat, and it is exactly 3 carbohydrates. So when you start talking this for that, all I have to do is I could go over there and put it in the blender, or I can put it in my coffee, and I can take my little cute whisk and I can just whisk it up, or I can shake it and I can go on the go. So instead of mixing and measuring everything out, making my own homemade whipping cream, my own whipped topping, I can simply just do this. It can get frothy. I can mix it with ice and have a frappuccino, but literally 130 calories, 12 to 14 grams of fat, and I'm getting all the same stuff here that I'm getting here. So hopefully you guys can see this whole bar of food that I have out here. So I have my MCT oil, again, pumpkin spice, and everything nice right now. So they also make this keto cream in a pumpkin spice flavor. If you want to know how to get it, let me know. Or I know oftentimes we talk about keto for real life. It's hard to have organic everything. So the $1 million question is, why would I do something in a package? Because it's easy on the go. It's highest quality. If I'm trying to stay true to my ketogenic diet, or maybe I didn't get enough fats in during the day, this is a great way to get extra fats in for me. I love the collagen. It helps, again, elasticity. It helps mobility of joints. Also elasticity of like things of interstitial tissue that hold your bladder up. Sharon, message me and I will help you get that. So you can actually help hold your innards up, so to speak. So that holds your bladder and your intestines and your heart and your kidneys. All that's held up due to collagen, our tissue. So we know that's super, super important. And again, for me, it's already done. I just mixed it up and it's on the go. And now if I wanted extra fats, I definitely could put another tablespoon. I may just do that. We made the coconut heavy whipping cream because I'm dairy free. I could definitely put that in there and put another 12 grams of fat in there. It had a little more cinnamon in it, so I could absolutely add that into my coffee, and it looks amazing. So here we go. I think, drum roll, $1 million question. Does my Fat Mammoth Coffee put me in or out of ketosis? Is it start my fasting window? Is it in my feeding window? So if you're doing intermittent fasting, all that simply means, or new to it, when you're eating and when you're not eating. So if you wake up and you have water and you have a shower, you still haven't eaten since the day before. So say you had your last meal at 8 p.m. yesterday or maybe 7 p.m. yesterday. And if you haven't eaten today and it is 3:15, then you continue to add those hours up. So it'd be 24 plus 12, 17, 18, 19 hours if you hadn't had anything. So the best way to know it is actually to get two things. You have a glucose meter and a ketone blood meter. Wake up, check your blood ketones, and check your blood glucose. Have just plain black coffee. And then in 45 minutes, check your blood glucose and check your ketones. If your glucose goes up and your ketones go down, you broke your fast. So start with your fat coffee. Start with maybe just 1 teaspoon of a couple of things. So don't start with all of them. 1 teaspoon of a couple of things. Like you saw Dr. Ralph put the egg yolk in there, that was protein. It has calories, that broke his fast. So if you're putting in even a half a pack of keto cream, or maybe just a little bit of butter, maybe just some homemade whipped topping, maybe you're just putting in coconut oil and a little MCT, and you absolutely can use, I had them down here, some stevia vanilla strips. So same thing, check your blood glucose, check your blood ketones, check your finger, and then within about 45 minutes after you consume, if your glucose went up, you broke your fast. So I know there's a lot of variability, a lot of different opinions out there. My thing is do what works for you. We know that we now look at the longevity clinic, Dr. Luongo's work. It's almost more important when you eat in that shorter window than what you eat. So when you're talking about coffee, I know Frank is just a fat coffee fanatic. It depends for each person's individual body. So I know Dr. Ralph can have coffee, MCT oil, doesn't change his glucose or ketones the minute you put the egg in there, because the egg has calories, it has protein, it breaks his fast. So I tell people, keep it simple. If in doubt, count it in your feeding window. If in doubt, keep it out of your fasting window. So if you're not for sure, if you're fat coffee, you're fat tea, and you could absolutely do this with, I love it with a chai latte tea and yerba mate tea. Or again, if it's an allergy or sensitivity, whether it's the dairy, whether it's the cinnamon, because you can be allergic to cinnamon. And again, there's so many things here I could talk about. We can make like 15 different great coffees. That's really the golden truth of it. We're each individual snowflakes or individual beings. I say that because there's no two snowflakes the same, but we're each individual beings. We have different health journeys, different health pasts. So for me, I fight adrenal fatigue. I'm just going to be real with you guys. I've got a really rare neurological disease for some reason. That's the path that has been chosen for me after a skiing accident. So for me, it does take me out of my fasting window. Now I can just have straight tea or straight coffee. I'm still in my fasting window. But the minute I start putting all this delicious stuff in here, it actually starts my feeding time for me. And that's for me. How do I know? Because I've checked my blood ketones. I've even tried doing like 1/4 of a teaspoon of this or 1/4 a teaspoon of that. That's just my body. Digestion starts accelerating our nervous system. And so if the ketones go down and your sugar goes up, or maybe your ketones stay the same, but your glucose goes up, out of your fasting window. So hopefully that helps clarify what's really the truth is it, because I know there's so many questions. I think I get this probably 100+ times a week. So hopefully that helps you know a little bit more about your body and how you can figure it out. And if you don't have a blood meter, certainly know somebody who's diabetic. You certainly know somebody who's doing keto. The urine strips don't tell the truth, and I brought those here. Now, that is telling you if you're in ketosis in the morning, so you could maybe do that. Maybe you could check your morning urine. It says, yes, you're in ketosis. Then you have your yummy, yummy coffee, and then about 45 minutes later, you check your urine ketones again. If you're not in ketosis, that took you out. The blood meter is much more precise. The Ketonics breathalyzer, those can also tell you, because it goes from green to yellow, different colors tell you if it lowered your blood ketones. So that's how you do it, guys. Just make it super simple. But if you're stuck, if you're broken a plateau, maybe you're counting your coffee in your intermittent fasting window and you shouldn't be doing that. Or maybe you're putting way too much stuff in there. Again, remember 2 teaspoons of butter, that is grass-fed butter, 2 tablespoons of grass-fed butter, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream or coconut milk. They're about the same if you're trying to do dairy-free or vegan. And then 2 tablespoons of MCT oil, 714 calories and 80 grams of whopping fat. Now, you can put the cinnamon in there for free, and cinnamon's great for digestion, blood sugar. You can also put any stevia swerve in that. I also like to put a little cocoa powder sometimes in my heavy whipping cream. So I do make up a big batch of heavy whipping cream every couple of weeks. That way I'm not having it every single day of my life, because we know the keto metabolic a metabolic, keeping your metabolic rate up and high is creating metabolic confusion. So I definitely don't want to wake up, have my water, have my coffee every single day. I want to mix that up a little bit. And so one way to do that is maybe just do your fat coffee at night before bedtime. Another thing I like to do, and if you can see, we've got our broth cooking here, so it'll be my next video. We've got everything cooking here for my bone broth. I'll actually take the gelatin part of the bone, maybe a separate video. I'll put them in a ice cube tray. I'll put it in there and put it in the refrigerator so that it sets up nicely. And then I'll just take one ice cube. I'll put it in warm water in the morning. Now that doesn't seem to take me out of my fasting window. I've checked it time and time again. I've even put a little bit of butter in there with my broth, and that seems to actually hold my ketones and actually keep my glucose down. So for me, homemade bone broth right there in the Instapot, new way, is actually doesn't take me out of my fasting window. So the best way to do it is to be your own detective. So I'm going to scroll through questions really quick here and see if I have it. So yeah, Kat, we don't have the Mojo meter. And Mojo meter is actually great. If you go to askdrheather.net/shop and the Amazon link, I've got 2 different meters there. We had the precision meter for years. It still works, so there's no reason to buy a new one. We did buy these urine strips just last week to see what they were. And at our local grocery store, they were $6.43, so not very expensive. Sorry, guys. So that would be another way to test it as well. But just see what's best for your body. And again, blood doesn't lie. If it goes in here, it's going to show up in here. That's my artery or vein I'm pointing to. That's what Dr. Ralph always says. So lots of different ways to make your amazing, amazing fat coffee, get those extra fats into your body. If you're not a coffee drinker, you can do this with coconut milk or nut milk. Again, you're getting calories, so it takes you into your feeding window, and you can still enjoy all this amazing stuff. So let me know if you want to know more about this amazing, simple keto cream. Just drop me a message down below or just private message me, and I'll get you a link and a coupon code to order some. Also want to let you know at 4:30 Central Standard Time, which is 1 hour and 15 minutes, we are going to kick off. Wait, you guys see my kitty? Kitty, kitty. Ah, and my cat's name is Kitty Kitty. So anyway, I just had to do that because so many people say, you never talk about your cat. Your cat's always walking around. You never tell us what your cat's name is. So my cat's name is Kitty Kitty. Anyway, 4:30 Central Standard Time. There's a Zoom link up above in the event. So go to the event. It says 14-day keto challenge. After having low carb keto KC, people said, I need a reset. I need a redo. I'm paleo. I'm low carb. I'm SAD, married, global. I need to get started. So we're going to take our 10-day up a level. If you guys didn't hear yesterday, we're actually going to have you start checking your ketones. We're going to have accountability. We're going to do about a 20-minute info session at 4:30 today. The Zoom link's up above. That's Central Standard Time. And 1 o'clock tomorrow, Central Standard Time, 20 minutes. We're just going to give you the nuts and bolts of what the program is. Yes, it does cost a little bit just because it's time and anyway, for a reason it does. If you attended low carb keto KC, it is $10. We just want to help accelerate your learning process. We want to help you get the best out of every day and you be the best version of yourself every single day. And we're not going to confuse perfect and better. We're just going to make sure we're getting a little better every single day. So we are going to focus a little heavier on movement. I have an amazing lineup of physicians, just like we had at Low Carb Keto KC. We have amazing physicians lined up. We're going to come to you live several times a day, accountability, coaching. We're going to help you get through that. The first question, does my coffee count? Well, now you have your answer. Tuesday from this channel, we'll also be doing 3 different breakfasts of what we can do. That'll be live from Natural Grocers. If you're in the Overland Park, Kansas City area, join us at the Olathe Natural Grocers. It's also in the event up above, or I'll get that made. I'm pointing to the page when I do that. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me. A bunch of hearts for Dr. Ralph. If you're hitting us on replay, give me like a big high five. I'm sitting here watching all the beautiful, I'm going to actually show you guys this. All the beautiful leaves. I don't know if we can get windows in the way. It's just beautiful here in Overland Park, Kansas. The leaves are all turning amazing, amazing colors. I don't think you can see it through all of our stuff. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Thanks, Dr. Ralph, for helping me with my cooking video. And hopefully this brought the answer that you were looking for about your fat mammoth coffee, tea, whatever it is that you're consuming. Again, the next video will be actually on broth, and then Tuesday morning we're going to have some breakfast options because again, the best way to keep your body anti-aging, keep your metabolic down, keep cellular detox happening is actually metabolic confusion, different breakfasts, different times of eating, different variety of stuff. So just as we close out, let us know if you have questions. I'll take a couple of pictures of all this stuff and I'll post it down below. My thing is I usually buy organic when possible, and that's really my key to you is buy organic when possible. You're not using these in large quantities. They'll last for a very long time. And then again, I can't wait to see what your mixture is. So please share what you're putting in your coffee or tea to start off your day in the fat way. You guys have a great day.